What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Shred Sessions. My name is Drew Creel. This is a metal, hardcore, guitar nerd podcast. And today I have Clair Gardner on the show. She is the vocalist of hardcore band Briteside from Huntsville, Alabama. She's been a little all over the map in the Southeast, and I figured she would be a great person to have on the show. So Clair, thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Heck yeah. So word on the street is you were just in the UK.
I was.
So what were you doing there? And you literally just came from the airport, right?
Yes. Yeah. No, I was just visiting the UK, just seeing the world. And I was with my husband, so it was a really fun time. We got to see some cathedrals. And
oh, nice.
Yeah. And just some like historical stuff and just kind of
cool
vibe around. Yeah.
Was that your first time over there?
It was my first time in the UK. I've been to Spain, France, and Italy before. So I've been in Europe, just not the UK.
Yeah.
So it was very different there.
Yeah, dude. I've actually never been to Europe at all.
Yeah.
That's how lame I am,
No.
I guess. But I've been to Canada and South America, but I've never been to Northern Europe.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how long was your flight?
Okay, so on the way back, it was like 8 hours to Newark, New Jersey, and then it was like a 2-hour flight to Nashville last night. So I didn't go to sleep until almost like 1 a.m, but that's a good thing because it was a 6-hour difference and I needed to like readjust my sleep schedule. So I think I'm good now.
You do not look jet lagged at all.
Thank you.
You look very bright. Okay, sorry.
Wow.
That was rough, dude. So like, talk to me about what you're doing in Huntsville now. And like, I remember you from when you lived in Nashville, and you were like this kind of normal looking girl in the pit. I don't know how to like put it together, but you were always like going nuts at shows. Like, I was like, who is this chick? Like, what is she
Yeah.
What is she doing? You may have at the time looked a little out of place, but of course hardcore is welcoming and accepting to really anybody. But talk to me about how you got into hardcore and extreme music, and how you ended up in Huntsville. Sorry, that's kind of a lot.
No, I can definitely answer that in a very, I'm a yapper, so it's going to be probably long-winded. So yeah, I found out about hardcore kind of like, it happened very quickly after finding out just about like alternative music in general, like emo and even like pop punk and stuff. And I think like some gateway bands for me were really like Touche Amore and Defeater, just like getting used to screaming vocals, I guess, over guitar music. And that just opened up my world to hardcore. Was really like a lot of Backtrack and, you know, Trapped in Her Eyes and just like those staple bands in the like early 2010s, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I like very quickly found out about shows. My first show was at Rocketown, the White Building.
I figured it was.
Yeah.
Who did you see?
Well, so that was a pop punk show. That was the Wonder Years.
Nice.
With The Story So Far, Transit, and Polar Bear Club. I think that was the full lineup. But my first hardcore show was at the Owl Farm.
Oh yeah.
It was like an 8-band bill.
Oh my gosh.
It was Backtrack, Harness, The Killer from Chicago, Zabalba.
Oh, Zybalba.
Yeah.
What a band.
I think was Hysteria on it. I can't remember the local, but yeah, so my first hardcore show, and that was in like 2013. So yeah, I was really just like word of mouth of friends in school. I was like a sophomore in high school when that Backtrack show happened, and so ever since then I've just like everywhere I go I'm trying to find hardcore. I was trying to find a hardcore show in the UK to go to, but we were in like a smaller town and like taking a train out to, you know, London or wherever the shows were, it was just too much. But yeah, so now that I'm in Huntsville and I'm a little bit older, I'm involved in like booking shows, running shows, and obviously now a band, which is really fun and cool. So
yeah, I listened to the EP today. Yeah,
cool.
It's really good.
Yeah.
In the shadow there is no hope. I was like, dang, that's a line.
Well, that came from the band Killing Time and their record Briteside, spelled the normal way.
Yeah. Sick.
So I did rip that line from them, kind of like a nod to
it's dope
their influence.
Though. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's you guys kind of sound like heavy hardcore, almost like metallic hardcore. Yes. Kind of beat down stuff.
Yeah.
And your voice is ripping, dude.
Thank you.
It's sick.
Thank you. Yeah. My friend Blaith and No Cure, he helped me like record the vocals and like help me lock in on a certain sound. So I'm very grateful for his help with that.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So you started going to hardcore shows when you were a sophomore. That's like around the time when people start driving, right?
Yeah.
Like you get a little bit of freedom. Like you can hop into someone's car and like go to Nashville.
Yeah.
Now, did you grow up in Hendersonville? Do I have that right?
No, Franklin.
Franklin. Okay.
Yeah, but my parents' house, like growing up, was actually in like the perfect, like right in between, basically like Bellevue, Deep Franklin, Green Hills, and Brentwood. So like I had very easy access to all of those places.
Now, did you go to school with like Taylor Carpenter or
no.
any of those guys?
But I did. The first time I did meet him was in Franklin in a very like strange way.
Oh my gosh!
No, just not.
Can you
like,
tell the story?
Not weird, but well, it's so basically when I was a freshman in high school, my friend Ryan died in a golf cart accident.
Oh no!
And yeah, and so
holy cow, dude!
Yeah, very tragic. And so we would often go to his family's house and like spend time there. And it just so happened that Taylor Carpenter was like, I think he was staying at their next door neighbor's house. And Chris also. And or maybe Chris wasn't staying there. I don't exactly know. Again, this was when I was like a freshman in high school. And I wasn't there for this, but I think what happened was like a few of our friends heard Converge playing in the backyard, and this is like a very nice neighborhood where like you know just to hear Converge playing,
someone's blasting Converge,
and they were like, "What the fuck?" Like it was like over the fence too, and I think that's like how they got connected, how we all like kind of got connected. But yeah, so no, I didn't go to school with him. I went to school in Franklin, and it was a very small group of us who went to hardcore shows. Gabe from Chamber.
Oh yeah, Gabe. Yeah.
Yeah, we've known each other since like 6th grade.
I'm trying to remember who was all in like the Franklin contingent of the scene. Like Lucas Parrish is like I think another one kind of from that area. Which I'd love to get some of those guys on the show. I'd love to get Chamber. Maybe we will at some point. But I remember going to like one of these guys' houses. They were like either fresh out of high school or like maybe a couple years out of high school, and we were like writing songs with Taylor in like a garage. And it was with David Hobbs, who I don't know if you know David Hobbs.
Maybe.
I'm trying to remember the name of his main band, but we were all in a band called Def Kid at the time. And I just remember being in like a neighborhood like you described, and being in a garage playing like super loud, and we put our phone in like the guitar case and closed it to try to like get a demo, you know? And then you listen back to it and it just sounds all garbled and like, we're not gonna remember these riffs, man. Like, we were just trying to make the most chaotic stuff ever. But yeah, good memories of the Franklin folks that are part of the Nashville hardcore scene. The Owl Farm, do you remember like what happened to that venue? Why they stopped doing shows there?
No, I actually don't. And I've been meaning to ask people about it, because that was like, I mean, my first hardcore show was there. I thought the Owl Farm was like the coolest thing ever. And of course the End is also like where I went to most of the shows. And
classic.
I kind of came in towards like the tail end of Rocket Town. Like I just was a little too young, I guess.
I mean, honestly, me too. I didn't move here until 2012, and you would just hear about the old building, and
Still do.
you still hear. Yeah, on this podcast, we've been covering it heavily, like with Wes and Cody. It's my understanding that they stopped booking shows at the Owl Farm because, the Owl Farm was kind of like a BYOB type of situation. And so you would have like of age people at the show sipping on a beer, and then you'd have high school kids. And I think there was a little bit of like, hey, can you get us some beer? And I think that happened, and the owner found out about it. And so just another wonderful thing that alcohol has ruined,
I know. No, yeah, like
unfortunately.
that gas station across the street, like me and my friends would walk over there and get sodas like in between sets and stuff. And I know that I this may be wrong, but I thought it was a kid's dentist office originally.
Okay.
Which the walls were painted very bright colors, so I guess that makes sense. But it was like that long hallway.
Very strange venue, man. Like,
yeah,
it's a laundromat in the front, and you go behind the laundromat, you walk down a hallway, and there's like this, I don't know how big that room was. It was big enough for shows,
Yeah.
And I just remember like just cinder block walls and
floor show
and cement everywhere. So like the sound, like you'd have to get a lot of bodies in there to kind of deaden the sound. But
God, were there a lot of low-bodied shows happening?
Oh yeah,
I went
dude.
to so many shot shows, but at the time I thought every show was cool. I was like, yeah, let's go to every single metal and hardcore show. And I mean, that's what you do when you're a kid. Like, you think everything is cool. And I mean, looking back, it was like, I think I saw Full of Hell play there to like 13 people, which is like just a crazy memory to have compared to like how big they are now and the venues that they're playing now. So
yeah, to me those are like sacred memories, like to see a band before they really blow up. I mean, Full of Hell's been around for a long time. I'm sure they played their fair share of shot shows. But what are some other like memories that you have of Nashville hardcore? Talk about shows, talk about some people that you rub shoulders with, and how does like the Nashville scene compared to like the Alabama scene? Is it the same thing? I'm going to be going to a show later this month in Huntsville, and I just kind of want to know like what to expect. Like, what is it like?
Yeah, no, the Huntsville scene is like so many young kids. It's awesome. Like, it's so many teenagers and like early 20-year-olds that I just have that enthusiasm and excitement, especially about local bands, which I think is super awesome. And also touring bands that we bring through. Like, sometimes you'll get like big walkouts after local bands play. And I notice in Huntsville, kids are like excited to see the touring band and they want to stay. And yeah, like I have not been to a single, even close to shot show in Huntsville, even if it's like a lower turnout, which is like, I don't know, like 50 there. It's everybody's moshing the whole time and having fun. And
people are hungry for it, man.
Yeah, and that's what I think is just so exciting about the state of hardcore right now is like it doesn't really feel like anywhere you go to shows, it's like it's never bad like it used to be in the early mid 2010s was like
some of those
rough.
Cafe Coco shows were totally dead. Totally shot, man.
Totally shot. And so I think the Huntsville scene is just, I don't know how to describe it. You'll just have to come and see.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm stoked. And from what it sounds like, the only thing I have to compare it to is like my own experience, like going to Cornerstone Christian Music Festival in like 2000, I don't know, 9, 10, 11. Like those years, there was just so many bands, so many young bands too. And like people would go to Cornerstone one year and then the following summer they would be in a band playing shows, right?
So cool.
And I think that is happening again in like the Nashville and Alabama hardcore scenes. There's just so many bands like popping up, so many shows. Like I see all of your flyers and stuff that you post, and
it's a lot.
There's more venues popping up too, and like I was amazed because I was in Huntsville earlier this year in the spring for like my friend's wedding, and every coffee shop we went to, there was like hardcore show flyers. I'm like, I bet Claire is responsible.
Yes.
You came to mind because I was like, I bet she's responsible for this,
Yeah, a lot of them for sure. We kind of have like a little street team where we go around and we put up flyers and we film it and we post it, and it's just, I don't know, it's really cool. I think what we're doing out there, there's a lot more people that are involved, I guess, in booking in Huntsville, and everybody's kind of doing their part, whether that's starting a band, whether that's booking a good show, putting up flyers, moshing, learning the words to songs. Like, everybody's putting in the work, and it's really cool.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
What are some of your like favorite spots in Huntsville? Like can you list off some of the venues and stuff like that?
Well, we recently had one close, Insanity Skate Park. Yeah. That one had been around for a really long time, and that was a really like influential venue for, well, it's a skate park, but they had like a room that they would do shows in. But it was a really influential spot for a lot of my friends who grew up in Huntsville going to shows. So it's really sad that that one closed on us. But we have this place called Mad Malts. It's a brewery, but we do all ages there.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like, it's a really good layout. Sounds good in there. The vibe is nice. So that's kind of what we got right now. I think there's also this spot called Hops and Guac that our friend JC's been booking at. I think there's only been one show there, actually, but it was really cool. It's literally a Mexican like restaurant.
Heck yeah.
But it's in this what is it called? I'm gonna be so mad.
Are you talking about the school?
Yes.
Dude, yes. I wanted to ask you about the school. Let's talk about the school. I've been to Hops and Guac then.
Oh, because, okay. With the stage?
Yeah. They were playing really loud, like Latin club music, so loud that it was like, I was like, guys, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
The snare drums and the hi-hats are just killing my ears.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you guys did a show there?
Yeah. Well, it was our friend JC booked a show there. And I don't think they've ever had like an extreme music band play there. And it went really well, and it sounded good. So, I mean, I don't know if there's going to be more shows there or what, but it's a good spot. So, and the fact that it's at that school is just...
What do you think of the school? Talk about it, man.
I mean, I've been there like a couple times to eat. It's cool to just like walk down the hallways. There's also like a speakeasy that is behind like some lockers in there.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, Huntsville's got like some cool little nuggets like that around town.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the most bizarre, but also one of the coolest things that I had ever seen of like a repurposed building. Mm-hmm. So like what they've done with this building is like, it's like an old, like, I don't know, middle school maybe or something. It didn't appear to be a high school, but it's a huge structure. It's a huge building. And what they've done is like rented out different classrooms and different aspects of the school, and then vendors have come in and set up like a Mexican restaurant. There was like a dance studio upstairs. Tattoo shops.
Brewery.
There's offices in there. A brewery in the cafeteria right when you walk in.
Straight to ale. I've eaten there. Yeah, they literally have a whole ass brewery. In the gymnasium.
The gym, right? It's all like the giant silver thing. So I thought it was really interesting to be in a school, but also like having a beer, like walking around.
Feels illegal.
Yeah, it feels like very wrong. But we had a great time there. We went to my friend's wedding and then kind of migrated over to the school, which it's just called Back to School, right?
Not Back 40.
It's got a name. Anyway, just look up Huntsville School and check it out. Another spot that I love in Huntsville is the old like military boot factory. That's like an art collective space.
They've had shows there before, actually.
It seems like it would be a good place for shows.
Expensive.
Really?
Yeah, just because I think they do a lot of like they do like wedding type stuff, and any place where a wedding can be hosted, they will just charge you out the ass.
Damn. So what is like the going rate for like a rental for a show these days? Is it like $250? Is it $500 for the like the venue? What is like kind of like the cover that you need to come up with as a promoter in that area?
I mean, it's really, really nuanced because it just depends. Like if you're just given a room, you might pay just a couple $100, but if there's any sort of like amenities, like if there's sound speakers, you know, that might up it. And of course cap matters, right? Like you start getting over like 250 caps towards, you know, the 500 caps, like those can be, you know, several $100s up to $1,000 or it's kind of a hard question to answer, and I feel like it's very like every city is obviously different, and
right.
Yeah.
I haven't booked shows in a long time, and when I did, it was like at the East Room in Nashville like 10 years ago, and it was like $200, you know, and I was like, oh, I can.
It's only $200 there.
Yeah, it might still be for all I know.
Did they do their own sound there?
Yeah, they have. I don't think they supply. Yeah, I think they supply a sound guy and everything.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, that was like 10 years ago.
That was like 2015 or 16 or something like that.
I went to some shows there.
Yeah, East Room, and then the Cobra across, which I swore off that venue for several reasons. I just won't go to a show there. You know, so well, we kind of skipped over how you got from Nashville to Huntsville, and sorry, because I'm just a little bit scatterbrained today, apparently.
I'm all over the place with storytelling, so
let's talk about like what made you want to get out of Nashville, and I think you moved to Chattanooga first.
Yeah. Okay, so I moved out of Nashville when I was 18, went to college at UT Chattanooga, got involved in the scene there, went to a lot of shows at the Cloud Springs Deli.
Yeah. Classic RIP too.
RIP. Yeah. I loved that venue. I literally went to, I think, like every single show that they had there for like 4 years. The 4 years that I lived there. That's where I met my husband. That's where I met one of my best friends, Julia. And yeah, have several connections from there. So after I graduated college from UT Chat, I went back to Nashville because I just missed it. I loved the scene there. I would drive back and forth, and people would always ask me like, do you live in Chattanooga or Nashville? I'm like, kind of both, because I would come home for every single summer after I would finish the school year and during winter breaks, which, you know, were like over a month. So yeah, I graduated college, moved back to Nashville, started my graduate program here, and just kind of stayed around until I think a year after I got my master's degree. And then my husband was living in Augusta at the time. That's where he was stationed. He was in the Navy. He's not anymore. And we'd had this plan of like, okay, whenever I get my license, like whenever I become a licensed therapist and whenever he separates from the Navy, then we'll figure out like how we're gonna eventually live together, because we did long distance from Nashville to Augusta for like 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like tough, man.
7-hour drive.
My God.
Yeah. And both of us being like full-time students, I was working, you know, multiple jobs at Sonic. Shout out.
Oh my gosh.
Shout
dude.
out Sonic. Dude. Diet Cherry, Diet Coke. Nothing beats it. But yeah, so that was the plan. But then I was like, fuck this. I'm so tired of like not living with the person that I'm with. And so I just decided, like, in the middle of my licensure, because you have to like accrue hours and you have to like take all these exams and get supervision. I just was like, fuck it, I just won't get my license in Tennessee. I already had like the it's called a temp license, but it's not really a temp license. It's like an associate level counseling license. I already had that. I think it's still active here, actually. And I just moved to Augusta with him, and that's when like I really got involved in like the behind the scenes of shows, like actually like booking shows. And so yeah, that's where we lived for like 2 years. I feel like there's so much I could say about Augusta and like my time there, but the reason why we moved away is just opportunity, and here in like Huntsville, and being close to family, because my husband's family is from Chattanooga, mine's obviously in Nashville, and so we just felt like Huntsville was a great place for us, and it is. We really like it there.
I really enjoyed being there because it has a small town kind of like feel to it, and I would imagine the cost of living is a lot lower there too.
Yeah.
Which Nashville is out of control, dude. It's so expensive. We have the most expensive hotels. Like you could stay at a hotel in New York for less than in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Just look up the rates. Like it's just ridiculous. And at some point we're going to get to the ceiling and it's going to probably come crashing down. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's probably, I would imagine Nashville's overbuilt at this point. There's way too many people here. Someone last night was talking about, one of my wife's friends who is also an attorney. He was like saying like people from LA are like fed up. They're like leaving Nashville because it's just not what they thought it was. They hate it, you know? And I'm like, fine, dude, get the hell out. Like, it's fine with me if you like it better back in LA. So I really enjoyed Huntsville, and I like that it has that small town feel, and you can kind of make it what you want it to be. And it sounds like that's what you're doing, like in the scene. And you're like, what I like about you is you're creating like a space for young people to go to shows just like you did. You know, I can't say that shows were very safe back in Nashville back in the day, but from what I've seen you post and talk about, it seems like you're creating like a really nice space for kids to just express themselves and see some heavy music and not get hurt or be exposed to drugs and alcohol and things like that. So.
Yeah, we try really hard to make it a sober space. Obviously, having a lot of shows at a brewery, it can't really happen. But I think what's really amazing about Huntsville, I run the doors for a lot of shows, and I have to ID people. And so I'll ask, are you drinking tonight? And most of them are like, no, not drinking tonight.
I think that's part of a bigger movement, though. Like Gen Z and millennials are kind of stepping away from alcohol.
It sucks.
I mean, I was in Chicago a couple weeks ago, and like lots of weed there. I'll be honest. Like people are switching over to that. I don't know if that's any better, but a lot less drinking. I mean, it seems like that's the case in the Southeast. I don't know about colder areas like Minnesota, Chicago. People like, I think you kind of have to drink up there, like, just to survive. Yeah. No one has to drink. No, like, believe me. But
being in the UK, like those motherfuckers drink.
Damn, yeah.
Every day after work, they are hitting the pubs.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they don't care.
Yeah, it's just part of the I think that's how it felt when I was in Chicago. It's like as soon as like 5 o'clock hits, you're going to a bar. Like I walked almost the entire like North Shore. I'm like a huge architecture nerd, so I was like looking at all the buildings and going up in some of the buildings, and I walked all around, like, you know, basically like the north side of the city, and there was a lot of pubs like full of people. But it's interesting that like our generation you kind of hit like age 30 and you're like, Dude, this sucks. I hate this. I hate feeling hungover. I hate saying stupid shit at like hearing about it the next day or whatever. You're like, you said this last night. It's like,
it just makes you feel like shit.
It's awful. Yeah. It's straight up awful.
Yeah.
And I think it has a big impact on the brain because you're always kind of chasing like that dopamine hit, you know, like, and you're not as excited to engage in the activities that you are engaged with, whether it's music or your work or even going to a show. You're excited about that freaking dopamine hit from that beer that's in your gut, instead of the thing that you're engaged in.
Yeah.
And that to me is like the saddest part of alcoholism and alcohol. You know?
I can probably count on one hand the amount of times I've drank at a show. Like, I don't like it. I've never liked being at a show intoxicated. I think it sucks.
It does suck. And most of the time, that's where the drama kind of happens.
Yep.
Is someone that's like a really gung-ho mosher, hardcore dude or girl, and they mosh up on some drunk guy that's like, this is what's happened at the Cobra. The night when No Cure was there, I was at that show, and then I went like maybe a month later and played a show, and there's another belligerent person there, and it could just be that venue, but it seems like that's where the problems occur. They happen around sober people bumping into alcohol.
It's crazy
people.
When you cloud your judgment, you do things you shouldn't be doing.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah. No, I just don't fuck with it at shows, but it's hard because you kind of you almost have to have alcohol at shows to like just this, like the spaces, like they don't make a lot of money just on renting the space.
Right.
They make money on selling alcohol.
In the heavy music world. And I would say in the more kind of pure like death metal world, there's a lot more people that drink booze, right? In black metal and all of those styles. But in hardcore, it's like you might have 300 people at a show and ain't one of them drinking. You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
I love that about it.
Yeah. So Chattanooga, Augusta, and then Huntsville. How long have you been in Huntsville now?
I moved here in December of this past year, so it's been about like 8-9 months.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah. And you mentioned that you're starting to book shows like with Blythe Stewart from No Cure. Did he kind of like run the scene for a while there, or just book a lot of shows?
Honestly, I don't want to speak too much on like the history of Huntsville and Alabama hardcore, because I'm still learning it and trying to understand like the timeline of everything. But yeah, he's been booking shows for a long time, and he's been playing shows for a very long time. He's been in so many bands. And just been around in the area. And so I think all the success that No Cure is having, all the success that we have with the shows that we put on are very well deserved. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the Sanguisugabog set that I believe Blythe played a role in at the Firehouse, right? Like, which the Firehouse is in Birmingham, right? But he got I think it's the guy from Hate 56 came down with his like camera equipment and gear and like filmed that set there. Have you seen that video yet? I mean, I love that band. That band's amazing for death metal.
I'll have to check it out.
But when I found out that Blythe was doing things like that, I was like, whoa, this guy is he's doing some big shit. You know, like, and I was just impressed. And I mean, that band just crushes live. I saw them at the Cobra, the fabled Cobra. Unfortunately, the night where a couple guys got knifed, which was totally a random thing that should never have happened. But that pissed me off that happened, man.
Very scary.
And I had left about 5 minutes before everything went down. I was like, show's over. I'm getting the hell out of here. And then I find out, I think later that night, you know, like Jake and Blythe and the other guys in the band were posting about that. Like, it really upset me that happened. Yeah. So one question I had was, how has it been being like a licensed therapist and being a part of like this hardcore scene? And like, what kind of crossover have you like picked up on, like, if any?
No, I mean, I've always known I wanted to be a therapist since I was in middle school. And so I've just always had like my eye on that target. And I've like, something I've really struggled with in becoming a therapist is like being me, like this hardcore kid at heart. Like that's really how I feel. But also being a professional person. And most of my work is with children and teens. I am hopefully, by the time this comes out, I will be a registered play therapist, which is like the credential for providing play therapy. But it's been weird trying to navigate like being someone who goes to shows and like moshes, but also then like goes to work the next day and like talks to parents about like really hard things that their kids going through. And I have actually had clients like be like, hey, like you were at that one show, or like I've had clients come up to me at shows before, and so that's always like a strange territory.
I don't exist right now.
Yeah. And so just trying to like blend who I am and like just who I am in general and then who I am as a professional is where I think it's been like a challenge for me. But I've been feeling a lot more authentic and comfortable as I like progress further into my career. Yeah,
try to keep that mic maybe a little bit out front if you can.
My bad.
I'm gonna Joe Rogan the heck out of you.
Oh
with
no,
this mic.
Oh yeah,
he's always yelling at his people.
He's like, hey, can you? Yeah. My bad.
Every episode he does it. So
no.
Yeah, that's good right there.
Okay, perfect.
So yeah, you kind of feel like, oh wow, I'm balancing a couple things here that have a little bit of crossover.
Yeah.
I was just kind of curious, like working with really young kids and then teens, like what are some patterns that show up when you're working with these people?
It's really dependent on the area. Like I said, I've been a therapist in Nashville, in Augusta, and now Huntsville, and all of those populations have been very, very different.
They're all different, yeah.
Yeah. And I've worked like all over the kind of socioeconomic like spectrum. I've worked with a lot of Medicaid clients, and then I also work with clients who will pay $120 out of pocket every week. And something I will say like across the spectrum is social media, I think, is really just so bad. It's so bad for kids and teens. I could like record a whole episode, I feel like, about it, but that's one thing that I see a lot is just unsupervised and unlimited access to some really scary stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I taught guitar at the web school, and I taught middle school music as well, I mean, I would get a fresh batch of 6th graders, in middle school, and they're all so precious. And probably most of them had phones at that point, but there would be several kids that just didn't have a phone yet. They're like, my mom won't let me have a phone. But by 7th grade, every freaking kid has a phone. Yeah. 7th grade, dude.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't think it's necessarily bad to have access to calling and texting and things like that. It's but social media.
It's still like they're sending photos and memes to each other, and probably, I mean, that was something that like our head of school at the time had to address, was like, don't send pictures of your private parts to other people because you don't know where that photo is going to end up. Like, and I was like, what? Like, why we're having this conversation?
Yeah.
I was like, geez.
Yeah. And it's a very easy way for abusers to get to kids and teens. I saw a lot of that when I was an intern at this place called Davis House in Franklin. It's a child advocacy center where every single child that goes there has had an allegation of abuse. And so every single kid that I worked with there had some form of trauma from sexual or physical or emotional abuse. And so much of it was like the internet was a catalyst for it, or like predators were just able to gain easier access, or the actual like crime happened via cell phone, texting, Snapchat. God, Snapchat's the worst.
Well, the other thing that I was made aware of was these games, like these like peer-to-peer games that kids play on their
Roblox.
phones. Well, I'm sure it's I'm sure it's Roblox, but there's another one where they're like, you have to find out who the imposter is, catch the imposter. I don't know what the name of this game was, but all the kids were playing
I'm blanking on that. Maybe I am jet lagged. I don't know. No, I played that game so much and I'm blanking on it.
But I would have like, 6th, 7th graders playing it during break time in class, and like someone was telling me, like another teacher was telling me like, oh yeah, like adults are in there like asking these kids questions, and messing with them. I'm like, what?
Part of my intake process with parents is I ask them, what kind of electronics does your child have? What do they do on them? How long are they on them? Do they have access to like any kind of in-game chats? And a lot of parents are like, oh yeah, they like talk to people on Roblox, or they have like VR. And yeah, I mean, I obviously approach it like from a non-judgmental place, because
they just may not know.
They don't know, or they think that it is supervised or that it is safe. Like even YouTube Kids, a lot of stuff slips through the cracks. Like I have clients that have literally like seen things that they shouldn't have seen on YouTube Kids, because they are always coming up with new ways to like skew.
Dude, there's some really sus like YouTube Kids creators.
Mm-hmm.
It's
scary. So social media, big problem for child development.
Yeah. I don't know if things are gonna change, man, especially now that we have AI. You have like a 9-year-old kid or a 10-year-old kid looking at a video, they're not gonna be able to tell if it's real or not.
No.
And
I have elementary school kids that have Chat GPT downloaded on their devices, and I just think it is such a slippery slope.
Yeah, I think it is.
I just think about an 8 or 9-year-old kid like typing in Chat GPT, like asking questions about what is sex, and that just shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, and I think the new thing that's kind of come out in news stories lately is like they create this kind of psychosis around it, where they're asking it everything, and it's to the point where they're not really thinking through any problems. Like they're not like sourcing anything, they're just going right to Chat GPT and they're just asking it another question, like how should I brush my teeth, or how what if I, like they're just asking it literally everything. And then once you take it away, it's like that kid doesn't know how to problem solve like at a very basic level. What would you say to like someone who doesn't believe in therapy or thinks it's just bullshit, like sitting there talking about your problems, like I don't need to do that, like that's all bullshit, like just live your life, like
I would say try it. Just try it. I mean, I actually like don't run into that as much. I feel like we've come a long way with reducing the stigma around mental health. I feel like the pendulum's kind of swinging the other way now, where like everybody has a mental health diagnosis.
Sure. It's a little bit over.
Yeah, I think I run into that more so. But I mean, we all got demons in the closet, and we're all just trying to figure out how to like live with them, and nobody has to do it alone. And I think that there's no other relationship in the world like a client-therapist relationship. Because, you know, like I get a lot of questions about like, well, what's the difference between you and a friend? Right. And it's like,
well, I've read the DSM for one. It's like a 1,000-page book on everything we know about mental health.
Yes, education, but also it's not really as much of a reciprocal relationship where, you know, after a client like tells me something about them, I'm not immediately being like, yeah, so about me, you know, like it's all focused on them, and you really are just like a sounding board, and that is healing and therapeutic. And I think the relationship is the like most important component of therapy. Like I would say a lot of times I'm like, I'm not a worksheet therapist. I'm very relational and laid back. And I just think that if you've been to therapy and you've had a good therapist or you've had a bad therapist, it wasn't because of their expertise or their knowledge. Like it's not like, oh, they just didn't know enough. It's usually, oh, I just didn't really like them, or I didn't feel listened to, I didn't feel heard.
Yeah.
And the therapists that are helpful are the ones that like they just get you, and they just listen. So yeah, I think it can benefit literally anybody.
Yeah, I think it frees people from their bad thinking patterns. Like I've really been set free. Like I can point to a number of times where I've gone to a therapist and been like, yo, this is how I'm thinking about this stuff. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, what if you thought about it like this? And I'm like, oh my God. Like I like you literally have like a rat wheel inside your brain. Mm-hmm. That's just a toxic loop. Mm-hmm. And once you're able to break out of that and develop new like healthy thinking patterns and habits, you can find your way out of a lot of problems.
The way I like the analogy that I use is like making crop circles. Like the pathways in your brain have like you've thought that way for so long, right? And it kind of like makes a path or like an indent.
Yeah.
And so it just takes time to make new ones, and it takes effort and talking about it and just bouncing things off of somebody who can look at it from an unbiased perspective and just kind of help you gain insight on your stuff.
Yeah. Now, what was I going to ask you? How do you think people develop these like thinking patterns? Where do they come from? Like the negative ones? Is it developed in childhood, or like in your experience, like how do you think people get on these terrible thinking paths? I know it's kind of a strange question, but
no, I think I could answer this in so many different ways. Everything it comes from childhood, right? And then is like reinforced as you get older. And so like, for example, if you grow up with, I don't know, let's say like an anxious parent, like someone who's worrying a lot, like that is something that you are going to absorb. And a lot of times people will repeat what they've known or seen or grown up with. And so it's what is familiar and comfortable. That's what our brain likes. Our brain likes that familiarity, even if it's bad. Like even if it's negative, you will typically seek out the things that you experienced when you were younger. And
something that I've picked up on is I will create a whole narrative, like almost like a whole world around something that a teacher told me in like 7th grade. And I will make that my reality throughout. Like I've done that before. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think I've
Just latching on.
Yeah, dude. Like, I think I've been able to identify these things. Like, there's a period of time in my life where I was journaling, like, every night. And I would just talk about my day, like, what I was thinking about throughout the day, like, kind of like a mental health, like, this is where my brain was at today. Like, I think, you know. So I would kind of list off a lot of things. But then I would, like, several times I would go deep into, like, memory holes, and I would like, in a way, almost do, like, my own, like, therapy on myself, dude. It was crazy.
Wow.
So I would recommend, like, anyone should do that. Like, just every day, sit down, like, write an email to yourself. Obviously, if you don't want it, like, on Google, that's fine. Like, maybe use, like, a separate word processor. Or, like, I guess Apple Notes, that's more encrypted, but journaling can help you recall some memories and identify possible negative thinking patterns.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would recommend people do that, but
yeah, no, I think journaling is great. I think about, like, my, like, people with OCD, and sometimes journaling can actually be a compulsion.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. And so...
Oh, I hated doing it. But when I was doing it, I was like, God dang it, I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm going to write.
Yeah.
Write about my day.
It can be a compulsive behavior. And so, therefore, it could actually be unhealthy for some people.
For some people, yeah. No,
Not
I'm
everybody,
glad you said that.
But I think in general, like, yeah, just whatever outlet. I mean, whether that's, like, talking to a friend, writing things out, I mean... It can be really helpful to just get thoughts out of your head.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where, like, the where things snowball is you just keep things inside. You don't tell anybody about how you're feeling or what you're thinking, and you can create some pretty awful narratives about yourself that are not based in reality.
Exactly.
When you keep it in your head.
Oh, that's really good. With working with your younger clients and maybe even, like, Gen Z folks or even millennials, do you feel like there's been a decline in empathy with people? Like, people just have a really hard time seeing things from another person's perspective and actually, like, giving a shit about someone else, if that makes any sense?
I don't know. Like, I've only been a therapist for, like, 5 years now, and
that's a good amount of time, though.
Yeah, I actually have never done therapy, not in, like, post-COVID pandemic.
Oh,
you
wow.
know? Yeah. I started my internship wearing masks.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I, like, have enough experience to say if I've, like, seen a change. And I don't even know. I don't know. I feel like it's, like, older people who have a lack of empathy. not trying to be, like, ageist or anything.
Sure.
But I mean, it just kind of makes sense, like, for their generation, like, why that's kind of a norm for them to, like, not see things from other people's perspective. I think Gen Z, like, really wants to be so empathetic that, like, they forego their own like, boundaries and values, like, to almost, like, placate or, like, coddle another person's feelings. So again, it's like the pendulum just swings one way.
Dude, I think I was coming at that question from the perspective of just, like, the average person on the street. Like, we are so desensitized from, like, our phones, and so, like, you see someone in need or hurt, and you just, like, walk by that person. It's kind of like the Good Samaritan story from the Bible, like, people, like, just walking by people and being like, oh, that person, like, just not really feeling for people around us in regular, just everyday life.
Well, I just don't really think that humans were designed to experience all that we're experiencing, like, the amount of stimuli that we have every single day. Like, I don't think we were, like, meant to carry all of that with us. And so I think that part of it is just, like, I've got too much shit in my own life to like deal with, and I can't devote that. I'm already burnt out. I can't like devote more energy to helping a homeless person.
Right.
Sharing something on social media about how we should care more about homeless people. We should do more things for them. Like that feels a little bit easier, right? Than actually like
people trying to pay their damn rent, man.
Yeah. Like, trying to pay rent and like I mean, if you're a family, like you cannot live on a single income anymore unless you're like very, very affluent. And so it's America's culture. It's very fast paced, high volume. I mean, even just being in the UK, like everything opens at 9 and everything closes at 5. Like everything, unless it's like a restaurant or a pub or whatever.
Right.
And I got a tattoo while I was over there, so I was just like talking to my tattoo artist about it, and he's like, "Yeah, we just like don't work all day, all the time." And I'm like, "Wow, must be really nice." I have to like fight the guilt of like not having super late evening hours, and not having super early morning hours. Like here, I just think that there's like we have such high expectations of what we're supposed to produce and what we're supposed to accomplish and do.
Yeah, the constant grind. Like I get it. Like you want to get ahead. You want to, you know, I guess like take on some DoorDash deliveries or something in the evening to try to like make some extra cash. Like people have to hustle to just make it these days, and it's just inflation and like the standard of living is just way out of whack in my opinion. It's gotten way too expensive just for normal things, and we're being reprimanded for buying coffee, you know. But it's like, man, this is the one luxury I have in this fucking life. Of course I'm gonna spend $7 on a cold brew because it's gonna make my day fucking livable. You know, I think that's the perspective like that I've had to share with boomers that like talk about how expensive, like, why would you spend your money on that? You know, it's like, dude, because like this
I'm in hell.
Yeah, I'm in fucking hell, bro. Yeah, I love how you said that. Holy shit. Yeah, and I do make my own coffee most of the time, if anybody wants to know. And I try to not go out for coffee all the time, but I just think that's a common thing that we've been accused of, is just like blowing our money on stuff like that. Like, and a lot of people watching the show are probably like record collectors and merch collectors, and like I think that's sick, but records are freaking expensive, man. $40 for like a double LP. I think maybe there is a time in your life where you're like, I don't spend any extra money like during this time. You know? Like I'm not buying not another freaking dirt box effects pedal, right? Or some bullshit thing. So that's my take on some financial stuff. I know it's kind of a different topic, but
I think like what we're both saying is that like our cup, like you cannot pour from an empty cup, and like everything that I have goes into me living. And so I can't, if I'm spent for the day, like I'm not going to be able to go out and like help other people. Not really, I guess it's not really like a valid excuse for not like giving back or donating, but it is an explanation, I think, for maybe why there's like less of that now.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are like people that are struggling, you know, one mistake can put them on the street, you know what I mean? Like people that are really close to the edge. So is that the new tattoo like on your arm there?
Yes. So it probably looks fucking disgusting, but yeah, cool. I got a knight hand with a dagger through it just because we saw a bunch of like war shit. It was cool. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what part of the UK were you in, man?
So we did like the Cotswold, I think I'm saying that correctly, like all of the just like Bath and like places like that. We kind of just like hopped around. So Yeah.
That's sick. One of my favorite things to do on YouTube is like at the end of the, like while my wife is cooking, I will put on like a castle tour on, in a, you know, it could be from any part of Europe, but that's like one of my favorite pastimes lately.
Yeah.
Because I'm a freaking building nerd apparently right now.
Yeah. We got to go into like some crypts, like of like a cathedral and stuff. And like the guy was like explaining all the different like styles of architecture, because obviously by like the window arches, like you can tell like if it's Gothic or not. And so I have a really hard time like understanding historical events sometimes. Like I know that sounds strange, but I think about things so linearly. I have to really try to think about them more like holistically, I guess. And so it can be hard for me to understand historical events, but it was a really good experience and I definitely want to go back. Their culture is just so different from ours. I feel like.
Did you have fish and chips while you're there?
Oh, fuck yeah. It was so good too.
Was it? Nice.
Okay, their chicken, I don't know what we're doing wrong over here, but like their chicken is just so much more flavorful. Like,
could be that we're just pumping our chickens up with like mad hormones, like left and right, dude. We're making them freaking huge.
Yeah, no, it's a like every single like chicken that or like dish that I had there that had chicken in it that I ordered there was like the best chicken I've had in the US.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Like it tasted like smoked and like flavorful down to the bone. And
wow.
So I don't know what we're doing wrong here.
I think they might have like rules around like don't pump these chickens full of hormones. That's not allowed. I think they have pretty
small
strict laws maybe.
Chickens.
Yeah, or maybe they're just I don't know.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you. I'm not into that venture.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Briteside, man.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about the band. This is a shirt that you guys can buy, by the way, if you want to support Claire and the other homies in the band. But who all is in this band? How did you guys form?
Yeah. It's kind of funny. So it's me and my husband. He plays guitar. And then our friends Micah and Cyrus, they're in a couple other bands, Wielded Steel and Beautiful Child of God. But what's funny is like Micah is usually a guitar player and Cyrus is a drummer. They're both incredible at their instruments, but in this band they switch. So so Cyrus is playing bass. Okay. Cyrus like loves playing bass too. I learned. I didn't know that about him until like we formed Briteside. And Micah was originally a drummer. So, but most people like just know him as like playing guitar in several bands.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just us four. And the way it started was, when me and PJ moved here to Huntsville, we had like some gap in employment. Mine was a lot longer than his. I actually was unemployed for 5 months. Because Alabama took a really long time to give me my therapy license, so I couldn't practice. Yeah,
that's whack. Dang, dude.
It sucked.
Sorry.
It really sucked. But I have a great job now, so it's, it's in the past. But we just had time, and I was just like, let's just start a band. Like, it was just as simple as that. Like, because we have like a similar room to this with like,
a little music room.
Yeah. And I was like, let's just like write a song. So we wrote Dimtro, and we were out to eat with Micah one night, just hanging out. And we like pulled him in the truck and we were like, hey, we wrote this. Do you want to like do a band with us? And he was like, sure. I actually think we wrote 2 songs. Yeah. The other one is like not on the demo, but we just formed it very quickly. Like Micah texted Cyrus and was like, hey, do you want to play bass in a band? And he's like, sure. So
sick.
That was in February. We got the demo out by May and played our first show in June. So
hell yeah.
It was very quick.
Love it. I love the quick progression. There's a lot of excitement.
It just felt so natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, like all of them. My husband he's in another band called Seven Stitches from Augusta, Georgia. So they all have like other projects.
Yeah.
I'm the only one where this is my only band, but
sick, yeah. Dude. I love it.
Yeah.
So how did you guys write this stuff? Just you and your husband were writing?
So actually Micah wrote a lot of it. I think the way that like Dimtro was written was me and PJ kind of like put some ideas down. And by me and him, I mean like he's actually doing all of it and I'm being like, hey, put a two-step right there or put like a stomp part right there. Like I only think in like, this is gonna sound so lame, I only think in like moshing. Like, well,
that's the crowd perspective, man. It matters, like, you know?
Yeah, I'm just like, what would I want to come next if I were like seeing this live?
Hell yeah.
And so we wrote that Dimtro, and then I think Micah like changed some things. So it's been like somewhat collaborative in that way. But really it's like Micah and PJ are writing.
Sick.
Yeah.
So you guys cooked up some tunes. I think there's 3 songs on the demo.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And any plans for writing more stuff?
Yeah.
Like, are you guys working on some new tunes?
We have enough songs for an EP.
Hell yeah.
So I think we're gonna do another like DIY recording.
It sounds really good though.
Thank you.
I didn't find it to be like really lacking anything sonically, like when I was listening to it.
Yeah.
And you called it a demo, so I was like, well, this might sound like kind of low quality, but I was like, that sounds like real drums, real punchy, thick drums, great sounding kick, good guitar tone.
Yeah, it was all like Micah set up like all the drums and like his monitors in his living room and just busted it all out, I think in like 2 days.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we took all of that and went to Blythe's house, and that's where I recorded vocals just in one night.
He's got like a little vocal setup there.
Yeah, he's got something. I don't know. Don't know gear.
Yeah. Was it like this mic that you recorded on?
Something like that.
Okay.
Something like that. We put a sock over it.
Okay. Just to muffle it a little bit. Yeah, dude.
And yeah, he helped me out with my vocals, and then our friend Matt Meyer, who he used to live in Huntsville, but now he lives in Colorado. He mastered it, like mixed it and everything. So.
Sounds great, man.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to more.
Yeah.
And you guys are playing a show August 30th, right? It's like 8 bands, 10 bands?
It's called 10 for 20.
10 for 20.
Yeah.
Tell us about the show.
Okay, so 10 for 20. The first one was last year. I was not a part of making it happen, obviously, because I didn't live here yet. But basically, the idea of it is that like shows are getting more expensive. Ticket prices are very high now. And so once a year, we want to do this thing where we get 10 bands for $20 and really kind of have it be like a Southeast centric, hardcore centric show. And so Briteside was asked to open it, and it's us. I'm gonna remember the whole lineup. It's us, Bootprint, Life's Plan, Statement of Pride, Wasted Life. I don't know.
No Cure's playing, right?
No Cure's playing, and Inclination, but there's some bands in the middle I'm forgetting. I feel bad.
Sorry, I just spoiled the anticipation.
No, just with the flyer up. But yeah, it's at a community center that we've recently learned had shows in the 90s.
Cool.
I kind of want to like dig up some history on that, but we've heard word of mouth. We've never like seen any pictures or anything. But
so you're gonna resurrect a forgotten venue,
I guess.
Sick, dude.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's a huge space, but we're going to make it super cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, very intimate feeling, very DIY.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
that's gonna be sick. We were talking about the 10 for 20 show, and one of the things that I'm excited about is going to Huntsville, going to a show. and I'm gonna bring a mic and a camera, and we're just gonna interview people, like all day. And like, I don't know if that I'm like really like unsure about how long I'll do that for, like if I want to do that at more shows, bigger shows, but it's something that I'm just kind of demoing right now, just to see if people want to talk to me at a show. And I just think it's very spontaneous. Like, this is more like controlled environment, but at a show, it's like I'm like walking up to people with a mic, just asking them random questions. So I will be at that show. I'm very much looking forward to it. I haven't seen Lethal Method yet, and it's been a while since I've seen No Cure. But
both bands are sick.
Yeah, what other things are going to be happening at this show?
I mean, it's just gonna be a major homie fest.
Okay.
Like we're all just gonna be hanging out. It's gonna be all the locals, all the regulars. I definitely think people will be interested in like talking to you.
Oh, awesome, man.
Yeah,
Sick.
I think especially like some of the regulars, like the kids. I think they would be down to
sick, man.
Talk about.
Yeah, come and hang out with me if you're gonna be at that show.
Yeah,
this will be out before then.
Oh, hell yeah, yeah! Come to 10 for 20. It's going to be sick. It's literally $20. You have no reason not to go.
Yeah,
so
be there.
Be there.
You were talking about like ticket prices for shows. Like, I feel like for a long time the going rate was like $10, you know, for a show. Yeah. And what is it now? Like,
I mean, for like some of these tour packages, you could be paying like $50-$60, you know, like it's getting crazy. But I think for a lot of the stuff we do like $12-$15 all local shows. And we actually have one on Monday for Girl of Glass and some locals that is only going to be $10.
Nice.
And we try to as much as we can like get 16 and under for free. Just to encourage like teenagers to come to shows and experience it. So yeah, I mean, but like a lot of times you're paying like $25-$30 for like 4 or 5 bands. And
yeah, it's a lot of money.
It is.
I think when I saw Angel Maker and Humanity's Last Breath, I saw them at the Masquerade. Psycho Frame played that show too. That's more of a deathcore show, but it was like 30. It was still like $30, which I was like, these are some bigger bands. Like that seemed like a pretty good price for me. But I've seen that before, where it's like kind of some bands I haven't heard of before, and they're like $30. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
like,
and especially like fests, which 10 for 20 is not a fest. Like,
it's kind of a mini fest. Yeah,
I mean, with the amount of bands, I guess, but I like fest prices are fucking insane.
Yeah,
like
it's too much money, man.
It's too much money. So yeah, it's just a cool thing. Just a cool thing. So
sick. Well, talk about what your plans are for like the Huntsville hardcore scene. What are some of your dreams that you have, maybe, with what you want to do with it? And
I really want to do a beach show. I don't know if you ever went to any of the Nashville like beach shows, but they were like some of my most like fond memories.
With On Point?
Oh yeah. Yeah. On Point. There was like a Rotting Out beach show at the Owl Farm, and there was like free pizza. I just remember that being like the coolest thing to me in high school. I was like,
okay,
like they're actually like doing shit for like the community. Like that's so well, not that they weren't, but it just like free pizza and like dressing up. I was like, it's like the coolest thing ever at a show to me. So I really want to do something like that eventually.
Love it.
Love a good theme. But I mostly just want to like keep writing music, keep playing shows, keep helping like run shows. I don't necessarily like book as much anymore like I used to in Augusta. Like I'm not the one that like bands reach out to. It's usually Blaze.
You're helping to kind of run the shows
while he's gone.
Yeah, because
he's gone a lot.
Yeah, he is, man. He's touring. He's a touring guy.
Yeah. And so I just want to keep it turning, you know, just keep the wheel moving. and grow it bigger.
Heck yeah. That's sick. What are some of your favorite people and places in Huntsville that you want to shout out right now?
Shout out my band, Micah, Cyrus, PJ, and our friend Isaac, who filled in for us when we needed him to. He'll be filling in at the 10 for 20 show as well. And shout out No Cure, shout out Beautiful Child, shout out Wielded Steel. God, there's so many more. I feel like I masticated Honestala. I'm not leaving anybody out intentionally. I'm just literally jet lagged, probably. So,
dude, you're good.
Yeah, shout out Mad Malts for letting us do a bunch of cool shit. RIP Insanity. And yeah.
What are the best coffee shops in Huntsville? Sorry, I'm going to be a coffee nerd.
Oh, okay. I'm a major coffee nerd. And like, I love talking about it.
Let us know.
Okay.
What's the deal?
So there's a new one called Perseus. Actually, the owner of Mad Malts owns Perseus.
Okay.
So that's really cool. They are building their main location, and they're like at a pop-up at the lumber yard. I don't know if you have heard of that there, but they do weddings. And it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It looks kind of like a lumber yard, but it's like curated.
That's may have been where my buddy's wedding was. I don't. It's like across the street from the school.
No, it's across the street from a skate park.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, Perseus is like my new fave spot. They do a really great coffee soda.
Oh, I love a coffee soda.
The crema one?
It's too hot. You got to drink cold stuff down here.
The crema one? Have you had it?
Back in the day when they were like the OG.
The OG.
Yeah, they like first rolled that out. I loved it. Wasn't it like a pear?
It's like an orange one that they have now. I had that this morning.
Dang, I'm jealous.
But we also have an Honest.
Okay.
And we go there a lot. And
they've got like breakfast food, right?
They do. I like their coffee more.
Okay.
I feel like that's usually how it goes. Is like you're either really good at coffee or really good at food, or you're kind of like mediocre at both.
Man, this one place we went to, it may have been Honest. They were crushing it at the breakfast food. It was
really,
yeah. I had like a breakfast burrito. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm from out of town and it just tasted good to me. But
oh, you went like downtown.
Downtown, there was like a fancy coffee shop. There's like a line out the door. Everybody was wanting breakfast, and
I'm like, was that Honest? I don't know. Yeah, but
Perseus, Honest. What are some other ones?
There's not a lot of other ones. There's another new one called Onward that is pretty good. Another one called Gold Sprint. They've had like some shows there. They have a perfect setup for it, but they don't really do shows there a whole lot. But yeah,
Gold Sprint has like a standalone building,
and it has a shit ton of plants and trophies on the inside.
Huge place. Yeah, we went there too. Did
you like
bomb.
it?
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah,
their breakfast, I think I had like avocado toast there, and it was really good.
Yeah.
So
those are some good spots.
Sick. So where can people follow you on social media?
Briteside.hc.
Hell yeah. Sick, man.
Yeah. Instagram. I guess we have Facebook. But yeah, just Briteside spelled a different way. Brite. Yeah, because there was already another Briteside spelled the normal way. And I found out after we like started the band that I think Scott Vogel from Terror has a kids coloring book called Briteside, and it's spelled the way that we spell it. That was not intentional on my part, but I think that's really cool.
Yeah, so, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely follow Clair. Come to the 10 for 20 show.
Yes.
In Huntsville, if you're in the area. I mean, Clair, I can't thank you enough for coming all the way out to Clarksville, Tennessee, hanging with me, man.
No.
It means the world to me. If you made it this far in the episode, you're deep in the mosh pit. So please like the show, leave a comment, share this, like hit all that stuff for me, because we need all the engagement we can get. If we don't get the numbers up, I don't know. I don't know how much longer I'll be doing this for. So please help me out. And once again, Claire, thanks for hanging.
Thank you for having me.